fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you are working on and work alongside while I chat. Or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast and just listen while I chat. I'm going to be finishing up this last square on my Christmas shop one so that I can get back to my winter one. So let me zoom into where I'm going to be working and I will be right back. Okay, so I keep confusing myself because I have wanted to do a year in review video, and even at the beginning of this, knowing that I was sitting down for a whip and chat, my brain was like, oh, let's do the intro to the finishes video. Nope, that's not what I need to do. It's been kind of a difficult week, so things are just not firing on all cylinders, like I said. So let me jump into my regular life, what's been going on in my regular life. Actually, don't have that many notes. I guess I shouldn't say nothing's been going on. Things have been going on. I just haven't had a chance to kind of sit down and think everything through. I normally throughout the week sit down and make notes about things that I want to add into the whip and chat that I think of randomly throughout the week or whatever. This week has just not been that. This week has been a lot of running around, running errands, that sort of thing. So the first random thing that popped into my head was I keep seeing all these commercials for people with AI agents. I'm like, why are we calling them agents? Like they're real people. They're just bots. Like we used to just call them bots, right? Things that you could program to do certain things for you on social media so that you didn't have to pay an actual person to do it. Now we've taken to calling them agents as if that somehow makes them a real person. It doesn't. I wish you could call customer service and get an actual person anywhere these days. Everything's automated menus and messages and press 1 for this and 3 for that and 9 for this. And sometimes an actual person would just be helpful because you don't know what menu number you need to press. And I've seen all these commercials about people using Chat GPT to like asking dating advice and having conversations with it. Like that's what people are for. I don't all the stuff that is out there on the internet, which is where AI draws everything from. Why on earth would you ask it for advice about stuff like that? It's just crazy to me. Anyway, just randomly, things that I think of. And I read another pet peeve. So when I came to Canada, Canada does not do dollar bills, either $1 or $2 bills. They have coins. So you have a loonie as a $1 coin and a toonie as a $2 coin. Okay. And I was like, they don't do pennies. Okay, well then how does that work? Because everything is still 99 cents, $1.99, $2.99. Like if we're not using pennies, why are we doing that? Just tell me it's $2 instead of $1.99. Even better would be if they had to include the tax in it at the same time so that you know what the full price was instead of having to get sticker shock once you get to the cashier and they add in all the tax. And this goes for Canada and the US because the US is now doing away with pennies, which I get. They cost more to manufacture than they're worth. I totally get that. But then don't make realtors, not realtors, what am I trying to say? Retailers sell things for 99 cents. Just like, why is gas $2.99.9? Right? It's just $3. Just say $3. Just a pet peeve of mine. Like, just be honest about it. And also, here they put the prices in pennies, but then they round up or down when you get to the cash, depending on what your total is and all of that. And it's like, you just make all your dollar prices even, and then nobody has to worry about rounding up or rounding down. I think they're trying to give consumers some kind of BS that it saves you money, but I don't think that it does. Rants and random thoughts aside, last week I was talking about a happy planner and I needed to get one for 2026, and everybody was oh so helpfully telling me where I could get planners. It's not that I couldn't find planners. I had plenty of places, including Staples, the dollar store, all kinds of places that carry planners. However, nobody up here carries Happy Planners. That is a brand that is based out of the United States, I believe, and so it's just not that easy to find up here. I did finally find one. What I actually ended up doing was going to michaels.ca because I know Michaels carries the Happy Planner in the States, so I figured Canada would as well, and they do. Now, I don't have a local Michaels, so I couldn't just go to my local Michaels and get it, but I could have it shipped to me. They did have a couple on Amazon, but like I said, it was, I want to say 48. One was 48, one was 50 some dollars and some odd cents. And then it was another like $6 or $7 in shipping, and then I would have had to pay tax on top of that. And I found one at Michael's for $34, which was quite a bit cheaper. Now, by the time I added on shipping, because I didn't qualify for free shipping and taxes, it was around $47. But still, that made it cheaper than all of the Amazon ones. So I just went ahead and bought it. So it should be here sometime this week. And I could probably just print out my own. I have a scanner, I could scan them in and print it out. But I like having I really only use the monthly calendar pages anyway. But I like having the little tab dividers. And those are not as simple to make as just printing out the pages for other things. So I opted to go that route. So thank you for everybody telling me where I could find them. If I lived closer to a bigger city, I probably wouldn't have had an issue, but I've ordered one and it's on its way, so it's all good. And I have last year when we moved here, I used the Happy Planner budget inserts too, and I ordered 2 of them and then had my sister ship them to me. This was before shipping got bananas. It was bad enough then, so I think this upcoming year I'm going to end up in 2027. I'm probably going to end up, well, possibly we could take a trip across the border to buy one at a Walmart in Maine or something, but we'll see. I certainly don't want to travel anywhere right now. We just got the first kind of major snow that we've had so far this year. Wasn't terrible, but it is very, very cold. It has been very, very cold the last couple of days. The wind chill is ridiculous. The poor dogs, when they go outside, kind of prancing on their little feet because it's too cold to leave their feet down in the snow for too long. And we could go get them booties, but I don't think that either of them would put up with wearing them. So they just go outside, do their business really quick, and come back in. Although Sable woke us up at 5 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock Saturday morning, so I guess that's an hour better. Hubby says he doesn't mind because he can get up and stoke the fire and get everything warm before everybody else gets up, but if she just woke him up and then went outside, that would be one thing, but she has to wake Oscar up, and then she wants me to be up, and like, we don't all have to be awake just because you are. We did go to my in-laws for spaghetti dinner for New Year's. We ended up postponing it by a day because that was when all the snow hit and the roads were bad. But we went up there for spaghetti dinner and had a nice time, but we decided to leave the dogs home. So prior to that, what was this, Friday morning, I think? We got all the snow, so we got up, may have been Saturday morning, I can't remember. Yeah, I don't know. One of those days. It was one of those days. So hubby was out with the snowblower because it was quite a bit of snow. My youngest and I went out to clean off the deck, thinking that, the dogs aren't going to want to get down off of the deck much probably. So let's go through and clean off the deck so at least they can go out on the deck instead of trying to do their business in the house. So we were all out there cleaning everything off, cleaning stuff off the deck, off the stairs. Hubby's snow blowing where the cars are and out to the road so we can get out, because when the big snowplow comes by, it piles everything up in the middle of our driveway. So he was trying to get rid of that. We were out there for maybe 30, 45 minutes. My son and I come back in, and I look up as I'm taking off my shoes and see Oscar, and it looks like he's got something in his mouth. And I said, "Oscar." And he immediately looked guilty and dropped it. And I was like to my son, "What has he got?" So my son comes into the living room and he comes back out and he goes, "Well," and the piece was like a little piece of gray plastic. And meanwhile, I'm looking at it in my hand trying to figure out what it came from. It was my slippers. So they both have been told and been caught with my husband's slippers and been told those were off limits. So my husband's slippers were in the floor by the door, perfectly fine. However, they apparently discovered my slippers and my son's and decided those were fair game because they hadn't been told no. So Oscar had mine. The back of mine was chewed up pretty good. And Sable had my son's. And we knew it was Sable because when he took it away from her, he's like, oh, maybe just Oscar left it in her lap. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. So we pick it up, and in between her legs, right where she had had her head, there's like a whole bunch of little pieces of his slippers, little brown plastic pieces off of the sole of his slippers. So I got to add slippers to my shopping list. So that was fun. My son's weren't too bad. He's still wearing his, but I went ahead and bought him a new pair. One was perfectly fine, untouched, but the other one was just really, really chewed. Don't forget to stay till the end because I have some video of me confronting Oscar. So yeah, they are in the doghouse for a little while because they have not been listening. And then I didn't have any slippers to wear in the house because that was the only pair I had because slippers were never a thing for me until we moved here. So I just found a pair of sandals just so I could have something on my feet when I was walking around. And I went to go take a shower. Hubby was in the kitchen doing something, and I come out of the shower, and Sable has one of my sandals in her mouth. So she got in trouble for that. I'm like, we're almost at that 3-month mark where the rescue people said they would start to really settle in and be comfortable that this was a forever home for them. I think Oscar settled in faster than Sable. I think he's already at that space. She isn't yet, but I think she's rapidly getting there, which is why we're seeing so much misbehavior at the moment. So hopefully that will all settle down in another couple of weeks because I do not want to keep continuing to go through pairs of shoes. That's just annoying. So I got some new slippers, but then you have to break them in and they don't fit exactly the way the other ones did. And my Christmas tree is still up. Does anybody else still have their Christmas tree still up? I normally wait until after Thanksgiving, and the week after Thanksgiving, that weekend, I will put up my Christmas tree. This year, because we were having all of his folks and everything over, and we went to their house for Canadian Thanksgiving, I invited them, but it had to be on a weekend. So we ended up not doing it until the Sunday after Thanksgiving, which meant I was late putting up my tree. Truth be told, it may have been later than that. I don't even remember, honestly. So I had told hubby I was going to leave it up for a little bit longer than I usually do. Because usually the weekend of New Year's before everybody has to go back to school and work is when I take it down. But I just thought this year, oh, I'll just leave it up for a little bit. It'll be fine. No big deal. So that's what I decided to do. But now I feel weird about it because it's still up. We did take some time and I took down all of the other decorations. I took down the wreath that I had up. I took down the garland that was on my banister, the little knickknacks and tchotchkes, things that people have made, ceramics and other decorations that I put up. My little mini ceramic Christmas tree, I put all those away. All the stockings are put away, all that kind of stuff. It's literally just the tree, the ornaments on the tree, and the tree skirt that are still out. We went to Walmart today and I did do some looking while we were at Walmart. They had a bunch of their Christmas decorations 50% off, but they were all kind of lame. And there really weren't that many of them, so I didn't buy anything. I thought maybe I would, but I didn't. But we were there for other reasons too, so I am going to be busy this week. And part of the reason that I didn't post a video on Saturday as usual is that we will be attending my father-in-law's funeral on this week. So it's been kind of a weird week. Everybody trying to help my mother-in-law and figure out what needs to get done. And of course, lots of relatives coming in and trying to coordinate all of that. And in the midst of all that, we were getting together for New Year's. Hubby's birthday is coming up, and his mom is trying to plan something for that. We had to go to Walmart because none of us really brought any dress clothes. I have a couple of nice shirts, and I have one pair of dress pants. However, neither my son nor my husband brought any dress-up clothes, mostly because the ones that they had before didn't fit anyway, so there wasn't any point in bringing them. They wouldn't have worn them. But we had to go shopping to get a shirt and tie for my youngest and for hubby. And hubby usually doesn't like to buy for himself, but he was in a buying mood, so he got a sweater and he bought some slip-on boots for himself, so when he's taking the dogs out in the morning, he doesn't have to tie his big snow boots on. So he got some muck boots. And then I'm like, okay, so we've got shirts, ties, belts, pants. And then I was like, oh no, we have to buy an iron because whenever I buy clothing, I always wash it first. And I have so many people make fun of me, but I have read many different times that all the chemicals and things that they put on it, on the clothing, on the fabric to keep it looking nice in transit are not good for you. So we make sure everything fits and then I wash everything before we actually wear it. And then I was like, if I wash these are not going to be nice and pressed and crisp and clean because I don't iron a lot because of my carpal tunnel. That's like one of the things that sets it off almost immediately. But I didn't bring an iron or an ironing board. So I told hubby I don't need an ironing board. I can make the table work, but I definitely need to have an iron. And we forgot to get it in our first go through at Walmart. So we had to go back in and get it while I was taking everything else out to the cars. So it's going to be a busy week for me. I'm going to still try and continue to post as I can, but hopefully the week after that I will be back to regularly scheduled videos. I don't know, I'm kind of waiting to see because now we have to figure out what our new normal is going to be again. It's funny how quickly you get used to something even when it's new. And then once that changes and you have to make another change, you're like, ugh, I just am not good with change in general. So any of it is difficult for me, but kind of worried about what hubby's going to do once he doesn't have his regularly scheduled time with his dad. I mean, I'm glad we moved here when we did. That was the whole point, was for him to be able to spend that time, and he was able to. So I'm super happy that we did what we did. But I also know that for the last year, basically, he and his siblings have had a rotating schedule of who visits when. And so for 2 or 3 days a week, hubby was getting out of the house, going somewhere, spending time with his dad, all that stuff. It'd be interesting to see now that he doesn't need to do that anymore. And same with the rest of his family. His dad had been he was in the hospital for a year before, I think a year, before they moved him into the care home. His mom has been okay so far. She's been busy with all the arrangements and everything, but I'm waiting to see when the other shoe drops. It's never easy. I think I just put that one on the wrong symbol, but that's okay. I'm not going to pull it up. It can just stay there. This thing is so confetti heavy, no one will ever know. I wanted to get this section done because I knew if I didn't and then I put it away that it would just get all gross and cruddy because it's going to be sitting for a while and I don't know what I'm going to do with it, where I'm going to put it. I was originally going to hang it upstairs, but now I don't know if I want to do that or if I want to leave it down here with everything else where it's a little bit more accessible. But it would probably stay cleaner upstairs than it would down here. It's just that out of sight, out of mind thing, you know? Okay, so that was all of my depressing stuff for this week. Next week will be better, I'm sure. We have lots of family coming in for a visit, and it's always nice to see everybody, even if it's not for a great reason. So, on to my diamond painting life. What's been going on in my diamond painting life? Well, as you can imagine, not a lot. I've had the odd moment here and there to sit down and do some things. A lot of it has been more admin than anything else. I made some mistakes on my logbook that I had printed out, enough that I like, ugh, I got to print this out and start over again. And then I was debating like, oh, well, I should just type stuff in and then print it out with it typed. And I'm like, no, the whole reason I like my logbook is because I get to write in it and it's analog. So I want to continue to do that. So I went back and I printed some new pages, but the paper that I use is heavier weight paper. And I haven't been able to find any at local stores here. So I am probably going to try and see if I can find some online to order. I didn't go look at Staples. They might have some at Staples, but Staples is always so expensive compared to everyone else. I guess I can't be too picky if I can't find it anywhere else. Maybe I'll see if I can order it online from Staples and get it that way. Maybe that, I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, I still have enough left that I can do a couple more logbooks, I think. I think it's going to be this year's logbook and then the pages I need for all the kits that I want to finish this year. And then I think at that point I will be out, assuming I don't make too many more mistakes when I'm writing things in. I'm also planning to go through and do a year in review video. As I was prepping my new logbook, I was going through my old one, and there were several kits in there. I was like, oh, I did that this year? That feels like it was 2 years ago. Not sure why it feels like it was that long ago, but it sure does. So that will probably be the next video that you see, is all the finishes that I did in 2025. 30 kits doesn't sound like a lot until you start looking back through and going, oh, I forgot I even did this one. Now I'm down to just filling in little one drill here, one drill there, and seeing which ones I missed. I did also want to ask you guys, I'm moving all of my ABs and fairy dust drills and special drills and that to bottle storage in my art dot drawer, 4-drawer storage. So I won't be doing anything with the Diamond Art Club bottles that the fairy dust drills came in that I ordered from them. But I was debating on whether or not it would be wanted to donate those to like Diamonds for a Better Tomorrow, because by the time I get done with them, there's going to be 30 empty ones, which would be enough for somebody to use them as like for a small kit that had 30 colors or less. And I won't be using them, so I just wondered if that would be something useful for other people. There won't be a case or anything to put them in, obviously, but for somebody who doesn't have anything, I thought maybe those would be nice. They're nice, thick, heavy bottles. They're just, I won't use them because they're not the same size as everything else that I have. And they won't fit in the bottle cases. And I could get new inserts and all of that, but I have more bottles than I'm ever going to use. I currently have one of my Heaven and Earth designs kitted up into a big, like 100+ bottle case from Art Dot. So once I get done with that kit, in theory, then I would have all those bottles available. And honestly, at that point, I might switch them out of the Art Dot drawers into that case because there's more room in the case, I think. I say that, now I need to go check. Because I want to say there's like 140 bottles in the case, but I think there's like 190 some in the drawers. So maybe I'm wrong and there aren't more, but I'm trying to cut down on the number of things that we have. It's amazing to me how many things we've already accumulated just in the year that we've lived here. Honestly, that's a year in Canada. For 6 months of that, we were living in the rental, so we weren't even putting everything that we accumulated out. I mean, we didn't really start buying a ton of stuff until we moved into the house, which isn't even a year. So yeah, leave me a comment down below and let me know if you think donating those bottles would be a good idea. Like I said, for somebody who doesn't have anything, any kind of storage or anything, I thought those would be nice. Okay, this is going to be a short whip and chat, you guys, because I just have so many things going on. Yeah, it is what it is. What is that saying? Life happens when you're making plans. So I have managed to finish this last little section here that I was working on, so I am happy about that. That means now I can clean all of this off and use this workspace for my winter diamond painting that I'm working on, which is my Snowman and Child, which is my last Francesca's kit. And then after that, I can start working on my alien kit that I'm so looking forward to. And if I have time, maybe I'll squeeze a third kit in. I don't know. I'm trying to, especially this week, just be kind of very go with the flow. And as I have time to do things, I have time to do things. If I don't, I don't. Nothing's going anywhere. It'll still be waiting when I get back. A huge thank you to all of you for all your well wishes. We really appreciate it. And we're just going to muddle through the best we can. Sorry for rambling on and on. I feel like there was a lot of disconnected things in it today, but that's kind of how my brain has been. So, yeah. Slow ramble? Is that what that was today? Anyway, thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video, guys. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And, as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for the dogs. Why are you running away, Oscar? Was this you? Was this you that ate my slipper? Sable, was it you? No, you can't have it back. Who ate my slipper? Hi, Sable. Hi, Oscar. See, he's all play with me, and she's like, no, the camera's on. I have to be good. Hello, Oscar. Don't side-eye me, Sable. Miss, I wake you up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go outside.